Okay, James, in the final part, let's just talk a little bit about the jockeys who ride the course and obviously trainers and owners who send the horses there. Over the last few years, we've had a pretty obvious trend with William Buick, with the John Gosden connection. Are there any other jockeys you think ride the race particularly well?
I think I'm not really going to start picking out names, but I think someone who can deal with the pressure of a classic. Not all people get the practice and the experience to deal at that top level. William Buick undoubtedly is a great jockey. His success, I think, is as much due through his own ability, down to his own ability, as to the association with John Gosden, who has done well. I don't think there's particularly anyone. I think the ability to judge a pace is important, because if the pace is too strong, you have the confidence to sit off the pace, or if the pace isn't strong enough, you have the confidence to go forward and make a bit of, get on with it a bit, and know that you don't get caught out if you're on a slow pace too far back.
So do you think with Frankie as well, Frankie Dettori, that was the Godolphin years when he had a lot of success there, wasn't it? Is that connected more to the owners as well? Well,
Frankie's judgment of pace is very, very good. I'm not saying other jockeys isn't, but his is very good, and that was his ability to be in the right place at the right time, on whatever speed the race was going.
And so the trainers side of things, we'd say you mentioned both of them earlier actually in the video. John Gosden's a trainer to look out for. Do you think he targets this race? Do you think, or is it just the quality of animals he has in the yard that allows him to?
It's the quality and type of horse he has in the yard. He has owners a bit like Aidan O'Brien will have with Coolmore, the stamina-laden pedigrees, the classic Derby pedigrees, which stay a bit further. And they have, the trainers themselves have the patience, and the owners have the patience to let the horses mature without being rushed, and giving them plenty of time. So not everyone would have a Galileo out of a middle distance mare that's ideally bred to be a Leger horse. Those sort of horses are fairly rarefied, and they cost a lot of money, and they end up in relatively few hands. That's not to say other trainers can't do well in the Leger, but Bolin Eric and Tim Easterby is a case in point.
Absolutely.
But those sort of blue-blooded, highly expensive horses, or very expensive horses, end up in relatively few hands.
Yeah, so a lot of the yards you're saying that aren't in the big yards, it's really more a matter of chance that you come across a horse that does well in the race, rather than actually planning it like the others do. And owners, obviously Godolphin have won I think 6 over the last 11 years. They've won 6 of the races, including Enki last year. A bit of a shadow this year maybe over that, but still an owner to look out for in this race.
Without a doubt, yes. I mean, again, mentioning John Gosden and Aidan O'Brien and Coolmore and so on, but Godolphin have a lot of bred in the absolute, pink, or whatever expression you want to use. They're highly bred, highly prized and valued horses over middle distances from middle distance starters who have the stamina in their pedigrees to run in a Leger, and they have a lot of those horses. They have a great deal of those horses.
So brilliant that is. So we'll just recap then. We're looking at horses that have run in the Voltage or the Gordon Stakes. We're looking at some of the bigger yards that may target the race, and looking at the jockeys as well. Would you say those are the areas for people who are watching the video to look at when they come to the St. Leger?
Yeah, and also have a look at what ground they've run on, and also if you look at the pedigrees, because that can influence of what ground the horse may run well on or not, and then look at what the forecast is.
And obviously because they're still developing in their careers as 3-year-olds, it's that's why I think there's only been 4 favourites over the last 11 years. One probably throws up a few surprises in the race.
It can do, yes.
Smashing. Well, it's lovely to have that insight, James. Thanks for your time today, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.